as of February, I went with my new family in radio. For those that don't know, I'm a radio DJ, big show DJ, air personality. I was with one situation, and then as of February of this year, I became a new jock and big show DJ for 104.3 Hit FM, XHTO El Paso. Other than that, I ended up, for about 3 years, I always wanted to make an album, and I didn't want no help or anything, and I ended up making an album this year as well. It was 2 years in the making, actually. It was completed in August, and it was released in September 1st, which is my birthday. As a date, almost at 8,000 downloads. It's a viral album. You can't buy it in the stores. The only way you can go is to my website. But you go to my website, you download the album. Right now, we about 8,000. Goal is 10,000 on it. The name of the album is called The Beach Rhymes and Life of Manuel Richardson. People are like, why did you use the name Manuel? Well, Manuel would be my middle name, and Richardson is my birth given name. So it made sense. And so it's just a complete ride of the last like 20-some years and stuff. And that album's doing pretty well, pretty good reviews. Couple of magazine interviews, stuff that I never expected, and it's pretty cool, man. And everything's just, I guess, falling into place for some reason. So I'm just like, I'll thank God for that, you know.
Listen up! Listen up!
Well, I like to put it like this: I'm from everywhere. I have so many influences. I have East Coast roots, Southern roots, even West Coast roots to a point. And my mother moved down here. I went to high school down here. I loved high school down here. I went to Bel Air High School. I'm actually from what we call the Valley, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people trip out because they were like, ain't no black people down there. But I lived down there. I lived out there in the area where there wasn't nothing but black people, so I lived down there, and then I ended up going to Hanks High School, and it was cool. I like the city. I like the pace of it. Like, you can live in a lot of cities. You know, I lived in Dallas, I lived in D.C., I lived in Georgia. And you know, all the cities, there's nothing really wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? So being here in the beginning was cool, and then I ended up leaving. Shortly after high school, I left to Dallas, and I lived in Dallas for a long time. And when I came back, that's when I ended up doing radio.
Run it, run it. Say ho! Say ho!
Well, the funniest thing is that I started rapping first. I didn't know how to do anything else. We didn't have any equipment and stuff. And then I got with Mark X a couple of years later, and when I got with Mark X when I was a teenager, like I was still a teenager. Those that don't know, I lied about my age for years, so I'm actually younger than a lot of people that I was around. So when I got around Mark, I learned how to DJ, and for some reason I think I have a form of autism because I got into DJ and I focused on DJ, and then I left rap alone. And then for some reason, I would get into a lot of fights, so that was a form of expression, so I went back to writing. So I would write one day and then go back practice DJing, and then I just put the two together. I knew how I always do, I know how to play instruments, and I knew always knew how to do production, so with those three, I thought that's all I needed to know, and when this opportunity came up, I mean, it was actually real odd how I even became a part of the conversation because the executive producer, Mark Love, you know, he was, oh man, you know, I'm a fan for what you do. And I was like, oh, okay. And we were at this bar, and he was like, yo, well, the Borderlords was out, you know, check this out. I was like, oh, okay, I'll check it. I remember they didn't have no budget. And I watched it, and I was like, oh, okay, man, I remember about this movie a couple of years back, so, I didn't still think nothing of it. And, I gave Billy Towns, I know Billy Towns for years, man, and I ended up, they ended up contacting me, and I was like, hey, why don't you come down and audition, we're going to shoot Borderlands 2, and I was like, oh, all right, cool. But I thought I was going in to shoot for an extra. I wanted to be a crackhead, or I knew it was a dope movie, so I was going to interview for a crackhead or something real stereotypical. So I was like, all right, man, I'll do it, man. Never acted in my life. I mean, I don't think I have, but then when I put it down like that, with everything I put down and set in stone, and I actually had a bigger role than what I anticipated. Because it's like it was like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks before I even knew who I was playing. So I was like, Billy he was just telling me, yo, I got a role for you, I got a role for you, I got a role for you. I'm like, okay, what am I playing? A cop? Playing what am I playing? Well, I ended up playing Jimmy, it's crazy. I was like, all right. So I guess this acting thing is for real. I never did it. I basically trained myself because there was nobody around to help me. So the role that I prepared for, I talked to a whole bunch of Detroit cats. That's how the transition went to that. Now the focus was on acting for that time when we were shooting the movie, and that's all I focused on. So.
What? Say what? Say what? Say where my dogs at, yo? Where my dogs at, yo?
Well, the few people that I do know, like I know about 5 or 6 people in Detroit right now, and then I know 3 or 4 people that live in El Paso that's from Detroit. And I got the aspect of, one of my favorite rap groups is Slum Village, which is from Detroit too. So I already had a idea what Detroit life was like, but I wanted to hear firsthand what it was. And so I just asked I explained my character, and I said, how am I supposed to portray? I said, y'all dudes smile or anything? Like, and for those that watch this movie, I don't think I smiled one time. So they were like, yeah, that's how it is, Detroit life is wild, it's hard, and, they gave me the story from 8 Mile all the way to 7 Mile to, how to get to the hood from the airport to this, that, and the third, and, if you get in an altercation with somebody, you shoot that dude and that's it. So they were like, then I talked to the people here that lived when they lived in Detroit, were in an era where there was like pimps and players and stuff, so they told me that aspect of the game, and they were telling me how the Detroit players was like that's the center of, your blaxploitation movies, what I'm saying, where these blaxploitations came from, these movies came from, even though they stereotyped the movies, a lot of it was really, really going on in Detroit, so it was good research. I was amazed. I mean, I thought Betty was like I was like, wow, this dude really had an eye for something, because, us doing it, we're not seeing what we look like, when we're there. And, we can see the screenshots while we're there and stuff, and we're like, oh, ooh, that looks crazy. But the eyes of like Billy and Betty are amazing. Like, so I didn't expect it. I did think, I thought this movie was going to be like a corny little HBO type movie that comes on at 3 in the morning, but I'm very impressed just by the trailer alone.